I ain't been on stage in damn near 15, 20 years. So it's like, it was odd for me. And actually right before the show, you see Paul McCartney walk and go to the left side of the stage. And then Prince walks to the right side of the stage. What the man? And you know, there's new technologies like earbuds and like I'd never used earbuds in my life. We were always just in front of the monitors or listening to the speakers. So if you were watching the Coachella show, like I got people in my ear talking and and I'm just like, what the hell is going on? So halfway through the show, I was already checked out.
Yeah.
Like I was already in my bed at home, so I was just trying to get through it. And so, yeah, the show happens, and it was a bomb night. It was horrible. In my eyes, horrible. The very next morning, I get a call from Prince, which I don't know him like that. I don't know how he got my number. I do not know. And first thing he says is, you know what your problem is? You don't realize how big y'all. And then he was like, you gotta remind people who you are. And from that point on, like, it's like, okay.
You gotta understand, you kind of like, I don't want this, bro. Like, I'm cool, you know what I mean? That's what it took him so long to even go on stage and perform the album, because it was so big at the time, bro. Like, they probably turned down $100 million just on shows.
Sorry, Miss Jackson.
At first, I was like, are they booing them because they just don't know them or they don't like them?
Hey, first person you see walking the aisle is 3,000. 3,000 heard it. 3,000 started clapping. He started clapping. Hey, first person you see walking the aisle is 3,000.
This though, I'm tired of folks, you know what I'm saying? Closed-minded folks, you know what I'm saying? It's like we got a demo tape and don't nobody want to hear it, but it's like this, the South got something to say. That's all I got to say.
That made the crowd go even more crazy.
Oh baby, let's talk about that iconic hip-hop duo that blessed us with bangers like Hey Ya and Ms. Jackson. You know who I'm talking about, OutKast. These two, they didn't just make music. They flipped the entire hip-hop game on its head. From the mid-90s to the early 2000s, they were everywhere, making sure Southern hip-hop wasn't just on the map, it owned the map. With their sharp lyrics, infectious hooks, and straight-up feel-good energy, OutKast had everybody vibing like it was second nature. When it came to pushing boundaries, OutKast wasn't just playing the game. They were rewriting the rules. They had the whole music scene wrapped around their fingers, leaving folks hanging on every beat. Think you know them? Oh boo, think again. There's so much more to unpack, like their rocket to the top rise, backstage tea, bold fashion that had people doing double takes, lawsuits, and those off-the-wall personal stories you probably never heard. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. Let's hit rewind. OutKast? That's André 3000 and Big Boi. These two crossed paths back in high school in the early 90s. And from the very start, it was clear. They were as different as night and day.
With Big Boi. Before we made a group, we used to just sit down and listen to albums, what we thought was great albums. You know, like people out of high school, they went into certain albums that we went to. Like a lot of people from my school didn't like, you know, a Tribe Called Quest album or a De La Soul album. I mean, we thought those were great albums, and we were listening to those albums and listening to stuff like Raheem Dreams and Two Live Crew, Dodge Face, whatever was going on at the time. We used to just watch videos and say, man, we can do that, and we can probably actually do it better, you know, than some of the other people out there doing.
Talk about total opposites. André 3000, he's the artsy, off-the-wall wild child who wasn't afraid to hit the stage in a kilt and have folks gagging. Then you've got Big Boi, the smooth-talking Southern gentleman who keeps everything steady and grounded. Together, baby, they're like night and day. But somehow that yin and yang energy just clicks perfectly. It's the magic you didn't see coming but couldn't get enough of.
OutKast gonna break up because we were so, like, you know, totally like opposite, you know what I'm saying? Some people be calling it the odd couple or whatever, you know what I'm saying? But I mean, that's our formula. It's always worked like that.
Oh, don't get it twisted. Just because they're tight doesn't mean it's always been smooth sailing. André and Big Boi, they've been clashing behind the scenes for years. And let me spill a little tea. These two almost called it quits way earlier than anybody realized. When's the last time you saw them on stage together? Exactly. It's been a hot minute. And word on the street is André 3000 might already have one foot out of the music game. But hold up, we'll get to that drama in a second. First, let's take it all the way back to their breakthrough moment in 1994 with their debut album, Southern Play, Allistic Adillac Music. I know, that title's a whole mouthful, but listen, the album popped off when Players Ball snagged the #1 spot on the Billboard Hot Rap Songs chart. Just like that, OutKast didn't just put Atlanta on the map. They made it the center of the universe.
So
so just listen to the lyrics.
But OutKast gave the South at that time a voice. They gave Atlanta a home in hip-hop.
A total game changer, no doubt. But oh honey, they were just getting started. OutKast hit their real groove with their next two albums, starting with ATLIENS, and then came AQUEMINI. Baby, at this point, they weren't just making hits. They were creating masterpieces. These albums had everybody shook, proving OutKast was in a league all their own.
It's looking bad, need some hope, like the words maybe.
Oh, the critics couldn't get enough, raving about how OutKast kept leveling up their sound with every album. But hold up, let's talk about the scandal that came with Aquemini. Yup, the Rosa Parks, civil rights icon herself, sued OutKast over their hit song Rosa Parks, claiming the lyrics were disrespectful, and they dropped her name without permission. Can you even imagine? Well, the lawsuit was tossed out, but oh sis, it didn't stop there. Rosa's team tried to appeal, and the team was scalding. There were whispers that her legal squad might have had some shady money motives, but here's the plot twist. Rosa's niece stepped in and shut it all the way down, saying Rosa wouldn't want to block OutKast's success over something so petty. Talk about flipping the script. And OutKast? They clapped back hard, filing their own lawsuit against an Atlanta-based dance duo named, wait for it, a TLIENS. How's that for some tables turned? Can you believe the audacity? OutKast said, "Oh no baby, not today," claiming these newbies were out here using their name without permission. And you already know, ATLIENS is basically sacred ground for OutKast. They weren't about to let anybody snatch that legacy without a fight. Let's just say, when it comes to protecting their brand, OutKast doesn't play, period. But hold up. We have to talk about their fashion. Because baby, if there's one thing OutKast did just as fiercely as their music, it's serving looks. Legendary doesn't even begin to cover it.
And it was sometimes just thoughts on top of my head, sometimes funny thoughts, things to make the audience think, so it was just fun to me, and started with one or two suits. I'm gonna keep it going, just changing them up.
Oh, you know we can't skip over those unforgettable outfits. André 3000 was out here turning heads left and right with his wild colors, funky patterns, and eccentric vibes. Every outfit was like a full-on fashion statement. And Big Boy, baby, he kept it sleek and smooth with those sharp suits and hats, giving off straight-up boss energy. But here's the tea. Their fashion wasn't just for kicks. It was pure rebellion. These two weren't trying to fit in with the typical hip-hop scene. Nah, they were all about breaking the rules and standing out, and they did it with flair. Let's talk about that iconic moment when André showed up to the 1995 Source Awards, wearing a full-on green velvet turban. While everyone else was in suits and chains, here comes Dre looking like he had just stepped out of a fashion vortex. Can we say drama? Word on the street is Big Boy wasn't exactly feeling it. He was probably like, "Bro, what in the world are you doing?" And then, of course, the infamous Source Awards moment, when OutKast won Best New Artist, and the crowd booed them.
How you gonna get booed and you just won Best New Artist?
The tension in that room, Zrania, it was palpable. But you already know André wasn't about to let that slide. He stood up there, looked around at the crowd, and boldly declared, "The South got something to say." Baby, that was a moment, one that shifted the whole game and let everyone know that OutKast wasn't here to play.
At first I was like, are they booing them because they just don't know them or they don't like them?
Hey, first person you see walking the aisle is 3000. 3000 heard it. 3000 started clapping. He started clapping. He started doing like this all the way to the stage.
I felt like once he thank God, he gonna get something off his chest. Cause we all from the hood. We know when somebody, they pound their chest up, they looking mad, they head going like this.
I think Dre just kind of felt a little bit of the tension that was still in the building, and it was his moment and their moment, if you will, to shine. And that's when he uttered those infamous words.
But it's like this though. I'm tired of folks, you know what I'm saying? Closed-minded folks, you know what I'm saying? It's like we got a demo tape and don't nobody want to hear, but it's like this, the South got something to say. That's all I got to say.
That made the crowd go even more crazy. You know what I'm saying? And that line forever goes down in history. The South got something to say.
It was almost kind of like one of those cultural iconic moments in hip-hop culture and even in pop culture. Like when you first saw Michael Jackson do the moonwalk.
And after I walked off that stage, it put a battery in our back. It put a battery in our back where we said, we gonna outsell everything and beat everything musically for the next year.
Iconic doesn't even cover it, right? But behind all that swagger, that moment at the Source Awards just added more pressure between the two. Big Boy was out here trying to hold things down while André, baby, He was getting weirder by the day. Now fast forward to 2000 and OutKast dropped Stankonia, one of the greatest albums of all time. This album wasn't just good, it was legendary. Tracks like B.O.B. had everyone shook, and the energy, off the charts. OutKast was on fire, no doubt about it. Stankonia hit #1 on the Billboard Hot 100, and with bangers like B.O.B., they were absolutely unstoppable. Oh, and don't forget about Ms. Jackson snagging them a Grammy for Best Rap Performance by a Duo or Group. Legendary status all day. But here's the tea you didn't know. Rumors started flying that Andre's relationship drama was causing some serious tension behind the scenes. You see that whole song? It was like a therapy session for Andre, allegedly about his breakup with singer Erykah Badu. And baby, let me tell you, she had Andre out here wearing knitted pants and looking all kinds of, well, different. Then came Speakerboxxx The Love Below, the album that showed just how far their creative genius could stretch. Speakerboxxx The Love Below took OutKast to a whole nother level, no doubt. But hold up, here's the real tea. Word on the street is, they were barely even in the studio together. They were recording their parts separately, each on their own vibe. Andre? Oh, he was off in his own world, experimenting with that funky pop outer space vibe. Especially on Hey Ya. Like Baby, that track was in a whole mood. It had everyone thinking, what just happened? It was next level, but also a sign that their creative paths were starting to take them in very different directions. Meanwhile, Big Boy was holding it down with that southern rap flavor, dropping hits like The Way You Move. It was almost like they were low-key breaking up without even saying it. You could feel the tension, but despite all the drama, OutKast was cleaning up at the Grammys. In 2004, they took home the ultimate prize, Album of the Year. Talk about winning in the middle of all that chaos.
Big girls need love, you, no discrimination.
Speakerboxxx, The Love Below, OutKast!
That was a huge deal, no doubt. But after that, things got real quiet, like crickets quiet. Andre started diving into his acting career, popping up in movies left and right while Big Boy kept hustling, dropping solo projects, and holding down the rap game on his own. Fans? Oh, they were in full-blown panic mode. Was OutKast really done for good? Was the dream over? And then came the kicker. After their last album, Idlewild, dropped in 2006,
Don't you worry about me.
fans were left shook, wondering if this was the official end of OutKast. With Andre and Big Boy diving into solo careers, the rumors started swirling. Was there a rift between them? Word on the street was that Andre was ready to retire from music altogether.
I haven't been making much music, man. My focus is not there. My confidence is not there. I tinker a lot. Like I'll just go to a piano and I'll set my iPhone down and just record what I'm doing, move my fingers around and whatever happens. But I hadn't been motivated to do a serious project.
Leaving fans to wonder if we'd ever see the duo together again. The silence was deafening, and the speculation was at an all-time high. Sources close to the duo spilled the tea that Andre just wasn't vibing with the rap scene anymore, while Big Boy was still all in, grinding hard. Andre even said he'd trade all that fame and fortune just for a little peace and quiet. Can you believe it? But here's the real scoop. Andre stepping away from the spotlight wasn't just about him being over the fame. It's deeper than that. He was clearly struggling with the weight of all those pressures and expectations that come with being such a massive star. It's a lot for one person to carry.
I ain't got no raps like that. Like it actually feels, sometimes it feels inauthentic for me to rap because I don't have anything to talk about in that way. Like I'm 48 years old, and not to say that age is a thing that dictates what you rap about. In a way it does. And like things that happen in my life, like what do you talk, like I gotta go get a colonoscopy. Like what do you rap about? My eyesight is going bad. Like,
but you're not just any rapper. Like you're a top 5, to many people. To me, it's like you're basically being like, I have a very beautiful sports car in the garage, but I choose never to drive it, which is your talent.
Talent is one thing, but honestly, I think timing and momentum is more important than talent and the energy of it. Like talent, it's a lot of people with talent. And we're seeing that now. Like there's so many dope people on the internet like that are just raw, but it's your timing, is what you're talking about, is if you're catching the zeitgeist of what's happening in the world. And like my goal is I want to connect. I'm not talking about nothing that I can't connect with it.
Have you tried?
It's no use. Yeah, I try all the time. Like, I'm open to producers now, like the young producers, and I get beats all the time. Like, and people send me songs like to get on remixes and stuff like that, but I don't be knowing what to talk about most of the time, you know?
Do you think that's about expectations or lack of self-belief? Like, where do you think that comes from?
Like, I think you're your best and worst critic, and I only work on feeling. Feeling is my only barometer of what I'm doing. Like, I don't feel like I'm the best rapper, I don't feel like I'm the best producer, I don't feel like I'm the best singer, actor, none of that. It's just, for me, my gauge is feeling, and that's always been that way, even within OutKast. Like, if it felt right, I ain't care what other people thought. If it felt right, it was like, I ain't gonna argue with what it feel like, and if it don't feel right to me, which it hasn't in a while, like when it comes to rapping or vocal, you know, type of music.
Andre's refusal to play by the industry's rules was evident when he turned down some seriously lucrative offers. I'm talking about $100 million deals, including a Super Bowl performance. But it wasn't about the money, honey. It was all about those creative disagreements.
You gotta understand, you kind of like, I don't want this, bro. Like, I'm cool, you know what I mean? That's what it took him so long to even go on stage and perform the album, because it was so big at the time, bro. Like, they probably turned down $100 million just on show.
Andre wasn't about to compromise his vision just for a paycheck, and that kind of integrity, that's rare in the game. Andre's commitment to his artistic integrity, Zrenia. It often had him butting heads with those commercial expectations. Poor Andre, though. He'd rather be in the background, just vibing in peace, than getting caught up in all that Hollywood madness.
What's your process like making music these days? Do you make much? Not so much? How would you say?
I haven't been making much music, man. My focus is not there.
The spotlight, not his thing. He'd much rather live life on his own terms, even if it meant stepping away from fame. Andre 3000 and Big Boy have always kept it real, though. Despite all the drama, the silence, and the solo pursuits, they've made it clear they're still friends and collaborators at heart. No matter what's happened, the bond they share, that's forever solid.
Like, my man, like Drake, like, he cool, man. But as far as a friendship, when people saw us at the game, it was like, oh my God, this warms my heart. This make, I mean, cause we like everybody, little brothers and uncles, you know, we started 16, 17, when, you know, you got rappers getting on now, 20-something, 30, if they give me their real age. You know what I'm saying? We really started out youngsters, want some real Jedi. So to now be, you know what I'm saying, like mid-40s, still handsome, strong, with good skin and a strong back. Absolutely. And we can walk up and down the bleachers and cheer our sons on. Actually, Seven, Dre's son, is my godson. He came to the game as well to see his god brother play, and it was beautiful, man. Like, flew out. I think Dre might have been at the Holiday Inn Express. Eugene ain't got that many hotels. I had a rent-a-car, picked him up, went to the game, just had fun.
But guess what? OutKast made a comeback in 2014. Reuniting for a tour to celebrate their 20th anniversary. And baby, the fans were watching. During their Coachella performance, though, something felt off. People were talking, saying the chemistry just wasn't the same as it used to be. Andre seemed distant, while Big Boy was out there giving it his all. Some fans even started whispering, was Andre forced into this reunion? That tension was real, and it didn't go unnoticed.
I ain't been on stage in damn near 15, 20 years, so it's like, it was odd for me. And actually, right before the show, you see Paul McCartney walk and go to the left side of the stage. And then Prince walks to the right side of the stage. What the f? Yeah. And you know, there's new technologies like earbuds and like, I'd never used earbuds in my life. We were always just in front of the monitors or listening to the speakers. So if you're watching the Coachella show, like, I got people in my ear talking and and I'm just like, what the hell is going on? So halfway through the show, I was already checked out.
Yeah.
Like, I was already in my bed at home, so I was just trying to get through it. And so, yeah, the show happens, and it was a bomb night. It was horrible. In my eyes, horrible. The very next morning, I get a call from Prince, which I don't know him like that. I don't know how he got my number. I do not know. And first thing he says is, you know what your problem is? You don't realize how big y'all. And then he was like, you gotta remind people who you are. And from that point on, like, it's like, okay.
And now, André 3000 is out here getting all deep on us. He's been spilling the tea about his newfound love for wind instruments. Yes, you heard that right, wind instruments. His new album, New Blue Sun, is all about that vibe. It's like he's on a whole new spiritual journey, connecting with sounds and rhythms that are worlds away from the rap game, but it's clear he's following his heart.
said, I think, that you at one point felt disconnected from rap.
Yeah, only because there's so much happening right now, and you don't get the rap calls like, hey, jump on this beat, or, you know, and you have to be doing something to be a rapper, you gotta be rapping. I haven't been rapping, like I don't hang around the studio, I don't sit and try to rap every day. So it's just not even a lifestyle. Like when I was younger, and that's all I did when I was younger, and especially like starting out.
But here's the real tea, y'all. New Blue Sun, it's all about authenticity.
I would say it's probably this felt more real and authentic to me. Like, cause I don't stop trying things. Like I always try, you know, recordings, and I try vocal things. I even try to jot down ideas and lyrics here and there, but none of that excited me. You know, it kind of felt like I'm trying to do a thing, you know what I mean? And I don't like when I'm trying to do a thing. It just felt inauthentic, and this felt like the realest I could be at the time.
Andre's not out here chasing trends or trying to fit into any box. He's pouring his soul into this album, doing exactly what feels true to him. No gimmicks, no compromises. It's all about raw, unfiltered Andre, and honestly, that's what makes it so special. It's crystal clear. Andre has evolved so much as an artist. His recent flute album? Oh, it's just the latest proof of his complete shift away from traditional rap. He's embracing his creative freedom, diving into new sounds and exploring all these otherworldly vibes. It's like he's creating his own lane now, and it's all about authenticity and artistic growth. No limits, just pure expression.
I haven't counted, but I'd say maybe 30.
Each gives you a different sound, a different feeling?
Yes, each one has its own. I mean, even if it's the same flute made by the same maker in the same key, each flute is its own kind of life. Especially if it's wood, and most of them are wood.
Yeah.
They have this own life, like before I even grabbed it. But
yeah, what attracted you to the instrument?
The sound. The sound. As soon as I heard it, I was not paying attention, and as soon as I heard the sound, my ears just kind of popped up. Yeah, and I was like, what is this? And I just had to know.
What did you like in the sound?
It was a humanness, there was an immediacy of getting sound, it was portable.
And now, Andre's out here talking about wanting to inspire others. How wholesome, right? He's on this whole mission to encourage folks to live authentically and follow their passions. But let's be real, he's also been reflecting on the real struggles of fame. You know, the pressure, the expectations, the constant spotlight, and he's craving that normalcy we all take for granted. Honestly, the way he's opening up about his journey is so raw and human, it makes you see the whole fame game in a different light. Can you blame him? Andre's been reflecting on how fame has changed him, and honestly, it's no surprise. The pressure, the constant attention, it's a lot for anyone to handle. He's been real about how difficult it's been to stay connected with his music when the whole world's watching, judging, and pulling at you from every direction. It's tough to stay true to yourself when you're constantly expected to be something you're not. You can see how all of that would take its toll on a creative soul like Andre.
People don't want to say it. Like, it is a great blessing. Like, I'm actually blessed to be able to create in front of people and get ideas off. That's the biggest blessing out of being famous. But being famous really sucks, man. Like, it's so unhuman. Like, I can't remember his name, but there was this classical pianist that said it's actually unnatural and actually detrimental to a human to have that much admiration, because it actually changes the way you think. It changes the way you move, you know, like your family, and not have people follow you and chase you, and you can't take your kid to the park and play because people will follow you.
Was your life ever like that?
At certain times, I think maybe at the height of OutKast, like years of like letting it simmer a little bit, and I'm older now, so a lot of people, they see me like, you look like him, but nah, that ain't 3000. So I miss certain things about normalcy, and like I'm an only child, so I've always kind of been to myself anyway. I kind of like my solitary kind of chill life, and I think you do have a choice. I was talking to my manager and publicist, I had to really ask myself, do you want to possibly be famous again? Like, do you want to turn it up again? And I was like, well, I'll just put the record out and just don't do any press for it or anything like that.
And we cannot forget about Big Boy, okay? He's been out here spilling all the tea about his incredible career, but that's not all. Big Boy is a whole boss when it comes to his entrepreneurial ventures. Like, let's be real, he's not just about music. He's out here securing the bag in every possible way. From his fashion lines to his investments, Big Boy is building an empire while still keeping it all the way real in the rap game. Big Boy is out here really putting a spotlight on how storytelling has always been at the heart of his music. It's been his thing from the jump, and he's making it clear that it's a huge part of his evolution as an artist. The way he weaves tales through his lyrics, painting vivid pictures with every bar, that's the magic. And he's not slowing down either. He's pushing the envelope on how he tells his stories, showing us that it's more than just music. It's a whole experience.
I'm a creative, you know what I mean? And I love great thinkers. Like, I mean, folks with vision. So that's how we hook me and Brandon up. Like, I love creative people, man. Like, I mean, somebody that has another idea outside of what I got. Yeah, man, and I'm a great collaborator. Like, started in the group, so, you know, I got a lot to offer. Right now it's real estate. I'm the car guy too, you know what I'm saying? Every week, you know what I'm saying? I mean, I still got all that, but appreciating assets like real estate. They ain't about to make no more land. So get your hands on that, even if it's just dirt, and hold it. You know what I'm saying? That's gonna appreciate throughout the year. I love performing.
Yeah.
And that's why I still make records, because I like to see the people singing the new songs that come from these thoughts that I create at a credenza and Stankonia, and just keep moving it, you know what I mean?
But here's the sweet part, y'all. Big Boy is all about fatherhood these days. He's embraced that role fully, showing us a side of him that's all about family, love, and guiding the next generation. It's like he's balancing being a boss and a doting father.
Really, besides like the music, actually even before that.
Okay.
Being a great father to my children and role model to them, to see them thrive and be successful in his life is my biggest accomplishment, period, in life. You know what I mean? The music was something that helped me provide a life for them that, you know, I didn't have, but at the same time, giving them that discipline and making them earn what they work for. You know what I mean? So yeah, fatherhood, that's my thing. No knucklehead stuff. Like my daughter's a child psychologist. She graduated from Auburn University. My son Bamboo went to school for architecture. He's now my property manager at all my Airbnbs. He's a monster.
Yeah.
And of course, a little Peasy, Cross the baby, is at Nevada, the Wolfpack. Got 2 more years to go. This is a breakout year as a running back up there, man. I'm proud of all of them.
And honestly, that's the kind of energy we need in this world. And Big Boy isn't just talking the talk, he's walking the walk. He's so committed to mentoring the youth through his foundation.
Big Kids Foundation about 13 years ago, and my focus has always been, you know, motivate kids and to put that impression on them as a mentor. And like I said, it's better to mold a young mind than it is to prepare a broken rhyme the same or sound the same. I don't want to hear the same sound, the same beat, the same keyboards, or the same guitar licks. Like, so it takes time, and it's like you're digging in a gold mine for something that you haven't heard before. You know what I mean? So when you hit it, it's like, okay, I got it. And yeah, I got some new stuff too that's like,
it's on the way?
Oh boy, it's on the way.
Yeah, I'd love to hear an African influence kind of song too, with everything going on.
Ray got that in his beat machine. He played some yesterday, yeah. For
sure. Yesterday?
Yes, absolutely.
You know, from acting to, you know, business owner to entrepreneurship to so many different things, and now collaborating with Butter ATL too. What keeps you on your toes to always continue just putting your brand in as many different places as possible?
I'm a creative, you know what I mean? And I love great thinkers, like, I mean, folks with vision. So that's how we'll hook me and Brandon up.
It's all about giving back to the community, guiding young minds, and helping them rise above the challenges they face. Big Boy's not just securing the bag for himself. He's out here making sure the next generation has the tools to succeed. That's the kind of legacy that truly lasts. Big Boy is really out here pushing that message of authenticity, making sure there's an emotional connection in everything he does. He's got that hustle, no doubt, but with a heart. With a combined net worth of around $65 million, OutKast is living proof that you can break all the rules, stay true to yourself, and still become iconic. From repping Southern hip-hop to making us all second-guess our wardrobe choices thanks to André, OutKast has never been about playing by the rules, and that's exactly why we love them. Whether or not we get another album, fingers crossed, their impact will never fade. But hey, who knows? Maybe one day they'll surprise us all over again.